right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin in the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. We have some exciting things happening in the markets. Welcome in, Jesus77, Bot Keto, Samuel S, Massey 33. Thank you so much. Anna, Storm on Saturn. Welcome in, Chad P. Welcome in, Teen B Willa, HKB, Crypto Wanderer, Fat Boy. Love you guys. Thank you for joining. So, guys, we have some very, very interesting things happening right now. Very key decision points about to be made for Bitcoin and for the whole crypto market. And I want to talk about Bitcoin. We are seeing some mixed signals on Bitcoin, but this could be a major reversal point for Bitcoin. We do know that we are going into the weekend, and oftentimes ranges form at these more macro resistances. If we get some stalling out here and some ranges forming with the bear divs, we could see that bigger drop to the downside for Bitcoin. But I do want to give some warnings on this. I am not short on Bitcoin yet, and I will tell you why. I am not short on Bitcoin yet because we are seeing some things on the order flow charts that are suggesting that Bitcoin might continue a little bit higher. Now, we are also seeing some very, very exciting things with the altcoins here. Some altcoins majorly pumping, NEAR's pumping like crazy. I've been long on NEAR since we hit the 382 and the back test of the value area high. I did just take most of the profit on that long position. We are hitting some very, very key resistances on BNB and on AVAX here. AVAX could come a little bit higher. We just talked about this before the stream. But we are going to go into this. So let's go ahead and start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is hitting into that macro resistance. Let's zoom out to the 4-hour chart here. And you guys can see that we do have some bear divs on the chart. And pretty much since this high, the first test of the anchored VWAP, this anchored VWAP was a key anchored VWAP we were looking to flip to support for bullish continuation. Well, we were able to break above it. We didn't even really back test it. But you can see here now, since that high, we are developing higher highs on the price action, and we are developing lower highs on the momentum waves, and our money flow is kind of topped out and is starting to come down here. This is on the 4-hour chart. And if we go on to some of the other time frames, some of the lower time frames, 2-hour chart, we are seeing that bear div as well. Money flow has been draining out of the asset as we're coming up in this rising wedge. Whoa, what the heck was that? This rising wedge type pattern here into that resistance. We also see on the 1-hour chart, we have some bear divs on the chart here. Bearish divs. Money flow doesn't look the worst here, but on NAMI, money flow has topped out and is starting to drain out of the asset here. So we are at key resistance. This will be the point if Bitcoin is going to see a big reversal. This is the point where this could happen. Now, I am not shorting yet because what we are seeing on the order flow is looking very bullish, in my opinion. If we come onto our order flow chart here, and since yesterday's low into the FOMC, we got that, and I talked about this in yesterday's video. But you can see here in yesterday's video, we had a bunch of shorts coming in leading up to the FOMC announcement. And then all of this junk in here was while Jerome Powell was speaking. Well, what did we see? We saw a short squeeze out of that. We saw a lot of shorts coming into the market. A lot of shorts coming in right at the lows here, right at this, the lows. We saw a lot of shorts coming into the market. And right after those shorts got squeezed out, we are now seeing open interest steadily increase. Now, yes, there is some big dips in here that I kind of don't like. I'd rather see a steady rise in open interest, but open interest is rising pretty rapidly here. We are making higher lows in the price action locally into our major resistance. Now, we've actually hit that resistance now. So we have to, we expected us to continue rising to hit that resistance. Now we are actually at our resistance. But even though we are at our resistance, you can see here, higher lows on the price action, lower lows on the CVD, our open interest is increasing. This is textbook bullish CVD absorption and bullish, and this is on the aggregated open interest. So a majority of the exchanges here, we are seeing bullish CVD absorption here at the highs. So I understand we are at key resistance, the key resistance with bearish divs on multiple time frames. But with our CVD absorption that is playing out, that is building right now, I am not shorting yet until we form a range. We can be patient here, guys. We are going into the weekend. We could form a bit of a range in here. We could even peak above this a little bit. And then if we see these bear divs continue to play out, we get some, I want to see this this open interest starting to drop here a bit. Like if we start to see open interest drop, that oftentimes when you see those drops in open interest, those big prolonged drops in open interest, it does kind of invalidate the bullish CVD absorption. And then we will look for that short position. Now, at the same time, I have been focusing on longs on altcoins because if we look at Bitcoin dominance here, okay, wait, before we look at Bitcoin dominance, let's go into our liquidation chart. Another reason why we could start to reverse in this general area is because we finally came out and took out all of our liquidity above us. We have finally come out and taken it, and now you can see a majority of the liquidity is below us, and it is below yesterday's lows with the FOMC manipulation that happened. The FOMC, I don't want to call it manipulation, the FOMC shenanigans that happened during that, the market shenanigans. And so, yes, at key resistance, naked weekly point of control, naked daily point of control, swing failure pattern. We did not swing fail. We came up to these highs. We were able to kind of maintain above those highs. And also in yesterday's video, I talked about this in yesterday's video, but if we turn on our small range, let's turn on that small range. What we were looking for in yesterday's video, we had broken out of that value area high. We were looking for the back test of the value area high. And I said in yesterday's video, if we hold the back test of the value area high, we are going to come up to our next major resistance. Well, that's exactly what happened. We have now done what is expected, and now is the key decision point. Over the next couple of days is the key decision point for Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going to be able to break above this key resistance? And if so, new all-time highs are highly, highly likely. Now, I'm not saying right away, but then we could see this as the correction is over. We did bounce from our macro support level that was our must key hold support level. And now we are going to see a push up above to new all-time highs and to new levels of price discovery, maybe something like this. And that is what we got to watch for over the next couple of days. Or are we do have bearish divs. Okay, guys, I am back. I'm so sorry about that. I have no idea why my streaming software keeps cutting off my mic like that. This has just been a recent development of the past week, but it is getting very annoying. So, sorry about that, guys. Let me know, where did I cut out? Where did I cut out here? Let me just go ahead and I'll start from the beginning. So, Bitcoin is at a very, very key resistance. We are seeing bullish CVD absorption on the charts right now. Higher lows in, higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the CVD, and our open interest is steadily increasing here. This is bullish CVD absorption. We are at resistance with bullish CVD absorption, and we are seeing bearish divs on the 4-hour chart and under. So we have some bit of mixed signals here. Yeah, delete that software, man. It's AMD software. It's an AMD suppression software. So, and it's worked really, really great for me in the past. It's been working for months really, really great for me. But for some reason now, it just keeps cutting out this past week. And I've reset it. I've re-downloaded the software. So I will have to keep looking at that. But turned off the software. I'm just using my Sure. So guys, we're at the key resistance. We are seeing bear divs on the 4 hour and under. Now, these bear divs are not something to fade because we do have money flow draining out of the asset on both NAMI and Market Cipher B. But if we also, this is the 4 hour and under. If we zoom out to that 8 hour chart again, you can see that money flow still looks pretty bullish here. We do have bear divs potentially here on the chart, but with money flow looking the way it is on the 8 hour and with the bullish CVD absorption that we are seeing on the charts, I am not shorting yet. I am going to be patient and wait because we could bust through this, hit up to the value area high, and then maybe lose it. So I am just being in a holding pattern right now. At the same time, we are seeing some really, really key developments in Bitcoin dominance, and the altcoins are just pumping like crazy. Near, AVAX, Solana. We are going to get into all of that today. We will really go deep into some of this stuff. But first, I don't know if you guys heard me talk about the liquidity. Another reason we could reverse here is because the liquidity has been taken. Finally, that liquidity that has been above us for the past couple of weeks that we front ran some of that liquidity yesterday has now come up to be taken. Now, in yesterday's video, I talked about our small range. And in yesterday's video, we were breaking out of our small range. So let me go ahead and turn that range back on. Let me get this off the chart. We'll turn that small range back on. We were in this small range. Now, we bounced from the value area low from the FOMC meeting at the value area low. We broke above that value area low. And what we were looking for was a back test, a bullish back test. This is what I explained right away in the video yesterday, a bullish back test of the value area high. And if we got that value area high to flip to support, then we would continue up to the next level. That is exactly what happened. So we got that. Now we are actually hitting into our macro resistance. Remember that 116.6 to 116.2 resistance was it was a valid resistance, but it wasn't our major macro resistance. Now we are at our major macro resistance, being that naked daily, naked weekly point of control, large range point of control, a golden pocket, and even the liquidity grab, our internal liquidity grab here, which was not successful. We are still maintaining above that level. So we do have some mixed signals on the chart. But if Bitcoin is going to reject and create that bigger push down, we have two options here. Now, I will say, and we've been saying this for weeks, we came into our macro support level where we absolutely needed to hold. We had marked this out weeks in advance. We were waiting to come down to this level. We came down to this level, unfortunately, while I was on vacation in Florida and everything. But we did come down to that level. We bounced from our macro support level, reclaimed the value area high. Actually, this value area high was a bit lower when we came down there. It was very close to the box. It was pretty much at the box. So overall, the macro analysis says that Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs. And why is that? Because we broke out of our 2025 range. You can see for months in here, we had a rejection from the value area high. We created that three-wave zigzag correction to the downside, a $14,000 correction to the downside. But we were able to break above that value area high, make new all-time highs. And then what happened is in a healthy market, you're now going to come back down to backtest what used to be considered overvalued now as support. Now, if we come down to that macro value area high, which used to be considered overvalued, and buyers step into the market, that means that the market is now pricing in the fair price of Bitcoin at higher levels of price discovery, at higher levels, in this case, of price discovery. So we are seeing a macro flip of what used to be resistance now into support. And we do have a potential that this whole thing here was the correction. It's over. And now we are going to bust up to new all-time highs here. And that is, as far as macro analysis goes, the highest likelihood. But the thing is, since our all-time high was made on August 15th, we do know that most of the time when you finish some impulsive price action, you do have a correction, and those corrections are three-wave zigzag corrections, either complex correction, simple ABC correction. We do see a correction happen, flat corrections, running flats, sharp corrections. So if we are going to see that lower high come in on the charts, and we do have a higher probability of seeing a lower high come in on the charts, let me explain why. Let me turn off some of these levels so that it's not as dirty here. We broke market structure bearishly on the daily by taking out our lows from August 3rd. So because we have broken market structure bearishly, we do now have a greater probability of putting in a lower high before now coming down and either putting in a lower low or in a running flat, putting in a low that's not lower, but it's still going to be a significant retracement. So those are really the options here. First mega bullish option, this was it. New levels of price discovery coming. The more probable option is overall, yes, we are still expecting new all-time highs in the macro, but our correction here, our more local daily correction, is not done yet. And we're going to see another little retracement down before coming up to make new all-time highs. But I do have to say this, overall on the macro, the greatest probability is to make new all-time highs. It's just, are we going to see a couple weeks of downside first, even possibly even coming down to 105K and creating that bigger, sharper three-wave correction, or seeing a running flat correction where we don't take out the lows, but we do bounce. And that is what we're going to be watching for. So right now we are at that key resistance, but we are not seeing confirmation to short here. At least for me, I am not seeing confirmation. I am not going to go against this bullish CVD absorption. Now, look at, we are starting to see some drop in open interest here. We want to see very, very locally, we want to see the open interest start decreasing here, and we want to see some long positions opening at resistance. That would be the healthiest thing to see, is long positions opening at resistance. We really are seeing a lot of chop right now on the charts, finally coming up into this resistance box. We are seeing a lot of new positions opening. Look at all of this is new positions opening in the last half of a day, and it's a mixture of long and shorts. And I understand that, because a lot of people are saying, hey, Bitcoin is, rate cuts happen, Bitcoin's about to blast off. I don't care. I'm in a long resistance because Bitcoin and altcoins are pumping. At the same time, a lot of traders are saying we're at macro resistance, and if we are going to roll over, this is the point. I am going to short. I am seeing some confirmations on the chart to short. So we are seeing a decision point being made real time. Let me check the chat real quick, see if everything is fixed. Okay. No, hey, TRX, I have a really good mic, man. This is like a Shure MVX7 podcast mic. It's a really, really good mic. So I don't need a new mic. I just need new software, I guess. Let's see. Yes, cheap one's the best. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm shorting from 120. We are getting close to 20 billion in open interest. Yeah, those are the best points to counter trade. Yeah, Darren does things. That's a really good point. And you know what's also a really good point? Actually, I think 119.3 is going to be a really interesting level, because we do have that fresh weekly level up at 119.3, and that's near our value area high at 120. But we could peek our head above this resistance a little bit, get everyone to long the breakout of the POC just to hit up into that weekly, and then see that kind of range form. So right now, I don't have enough confirmation to short, even though we are seeing bear divs. But with those bear divs going against CVD absorption locally, I'm always going to go with the local bullish CVD absorption over the bear divs, because CVD absorption plays out 70 to 80% of the time. Now, I guess, yeah, Bitcoin key decision point. We did create that lower low on the price action, so there is a higher probability to create a lower high before rolling over. Now, if we roll over, there's two possibilities where what could happen. We could roll over and create a higher low, making that kind of running flat, and this would be your running flat overall here before busting up to new all-time highs, or we could create that sharper correction to the downside where we reject here and come down to 105. So my two key levels to be looking at below, well, we have a couple key levels. We have this smaller resistance box down here at about 113.2, 113.3, where we do have the anchored VWAP. And since we have not back tested the anchored VWAP since breaking above it, oftentimes if we reject from a resistance, we will at least come down to back test that anchored VWAP to confirm that the trend, the bearish trend, is over, and now it's going to be considered support, and we're going to continue bullishly. So that anchored VWAP coming in around 113, now it's about up to 113.5. And then, of course, the macro 2025 value area high, at least on Coinbase, is coming in around 113.3. So we could actually adjust this box a little bit here. Let me get rid of this. We'll adjust this box. We'll throw this up here. And that is kind of be your resistance if we do start to roll over. and lose this local range. Remember, we have this local range that it built for the past week. It was a week-long range in here. And so, yes, we are starting to see a little bit of rejection from resistance. I am not shorting yet, guys. Let me be clear. I'm going to be patient and wait. If I have to wait and catch a lower high and then come down, I'll do that. Risk, it's all about your risk management and your position size. Finding that right risk reward. Now, if we lose 113.3 to 113.5, then the next level of support that I'm going to be looking at is down near our fib channel 618 that we did front run. We front run the actual touch of the fib channel 618 here. And you can see that fib channel 618 has the value area high. Oh, wait, is that? Let me zoom out a bit here. Yes, okay. That's our macro value area high. So sorry, guys, this is not the macro value area high. This is the value area low of this upper range that we've been seeing. Pretty much this is the range that formed after the breakout of that macro value area high. So we're in this range above the macro value area high, but coming back down to our macro value area high, you can see that it's going to be right around our fib channel where we did this fib channel. Let me just go ahead and zoom out here a bit and I'll turn off the weeklies. This fib channel has been such an important fib channel the entire bull market. It has guided us through this entire bull market, major swing positions, every major level. Now, you can see the last three all-time highs, rejection from the top of the channel, rejection from the top of the channel, rejection from the top of the channel. Usually when we reject from the top of the channel, we will see a drop either to the 618 fib channel or the midline. So we have two major key support levels below us. Let's go zoom back in onto the 4-hour chart and let's look at these two major support levels below us. So this is our more local support level below us at 113.3 to 113.5. If we lose that, we could see a straight drop down to that macro value area high coming in around 110K, 109.9, 110K, where we do have our fib channel, our 618 fib channel. Also, if we pull a fib from the lows of the move to the highs of the move, and we turn on our golden pocket. Okay, golden pocket's going to be a little bit above that. I don't like that anymore. I would say that it's coming down to that 786 then. So this box of resistance support, excuse me, here is what I would be looking at. And then if we lose that, of course, we're going to be coming down to the anchored VWAP from the 74K lows in confluence with that midline, the fib channel midline that is held so well throughout the entire bull market. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Let me check the chat real quick. Okay. Japanese bonds being offloaded and USD JPY going up since yesterday, which means the carry trade unwind is already in motion. Oh, wow. Darren, thank you for letting me know that, because last time we had that unwind from the Japanese bond market, we actually had a big drop in crypto. Yeah, they will initiate a full cascade swing. Yep. Listen, if it's going to happen, we're at the resistance that it's going to happen at too. So it's not unusual to see this right now. We know that a lot of retail is hyper bullish with the headline of rate cuts, but it was only a 25 basis point rate cut. We are still in restrictive territory. And just like I explained in yesterday's YouTube video, this is the perfect trap by the bigger players, by the market makers on retail. Get them to long into the highs to major resistance, and then we drop. Now, altcoins are rallying a lot, and if you did catch some longs on altcoin in the last few days, you're in massive profit on those, and just make sure to be taking profit at resistance. I will show you that I've taken profit at resistance on some of these, even though they're going a little bit higher. Let's see here. All right. We also front ran the 618 about 117,950. Let's see, on my chart, on the Coinbase chart, I believe we did hit the 618. So it's 117,930 on my chart. And if we zoom in here, you can see we actually did hit into that 618. At least on Coinbase, we've hit into that 618. Now, I do like this 6.5 up here. I do like the 0.65. The naked daily, naked weekly point of controls are within this box a little bit higher. So let's just see. I want to see a range form in here, guys. Because of the bullish absorption, I am not shorting yet. I understand that we do have bear divs on the chart on the 4 hour and under. But also, let's zoom in onto the 15-minute chart. Okay, 15-minute is actually starting to look really, really good. Bear divs, money flow draining out of the asset here. If we lose the VWAP, I might look for a high. So here's what I'd be looking at. Shorting, losing of the VWAP, stop above the local high. And I would be targeting, now, at least as a TP1, we would have to look at our local golden pocket from yesterday's low to today's high. We'd at least have to look and pay attention to this golden pocket. That's still almost a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio there. For me, I'm not comfortable yet. I'm just not comfortable yet shorting with the bullish CVD absorption that is happening on the charts. Now, this is good. We are starting to see some drop in open interest. We had a lot of longers stepping in towards the top. A lot of mixed, I guess I wouldn't say a lot of longers. I'd say half the. So let's see what happens here. We're going to be live for the next couple of hours, and we will keep an eye on this. But it's just, I'm not ready to short yet, even though we're hitting that 618. Okay. XMR. We'll do XMR. We're going to do AVAX today. I'll take a look at NEAR. We'll take a look at Solana. We'll take a look at a bunch of them. Binance futures. Okay. Well, Storm on Saturn for me, Coinbase has always been the most accurate chart, especially with volume levels. So, or Bybit, Coinbase, Bybit. We're at resistance. They're all going to be around the same area. Right now, very, very locally, is we could see a bounce from this VWAP. And if we bounce from the VWAP, we're going to come up a little bit higher. Now, we do have the bear divs. Like I said, on the 4 hour and under, we have some really nice bear divs with money flow draining out of the asset. So this is exactly what you want to see. The only reason I have not shorted yet is because what I'm seeing on the bullish CVD absorption. I mean, bullish CVD absorption is one of the best signals. Absorption, not CVD divs where your open interest is decreasing. If you're seeing the higher lows in price action, the lower lows in the CVD, but your open interest is decreasing, that's bullish CVD divergence, which only plays out about 30% of the time. Now, bullish CVD absorption is a completely different story, a very, very highly successful signal. And so for me, because I'm seeing this bullish CVD absorption here locally since yesterday's low, I am waiting for a little bit of a range to form or for this open interest to start dumping a little bit more. So we'll keep an eye on this. It's going to be very interesting. I am looking actively looking for shorts right now. I am just not ready to enter yet. We talked about, we took the liquidity. So yeah, we could roll over now because remember, liquidity and volume are the most two important things in the market. We've taken the liquidity now. Okay. Other than that, guys, Bitcoin is that's about all I have to say for Bitcoin. So we can real quick, I'm going to go into ETH right away because actually, no, I'm going to go into Bitcoin dominance first. We'll go into Bitcoin dominance because something very awesome is happening with Bitcoin dominance. And I talked about this, and this is actually the thumbnail of the video today. I talked about this in yesterday's video. So we have been in a large range, a large uptrend on Bitcoin dominance for about 2.5 years. You can see 2.5 years we've been in this ascending channel. Bitcoin has really been the star of this bull market. Well, we hit into the top of the channel and we got a major drop down. We bounced from the midline. We came up, we took the liquidity, even though per se there's not liquidity like a normal asset, but we took out those prior highs and then we broke market structure bearishly on the daily time frame by breaking, let me get rid of this arrow. By breaking these lows, we broke market structure bearishly. Now, what happened is we came up, bounced from the bottom of the channel. We tried to reclaim those lows. We couldn't. And so what's going to happen? This time we're going to lose the channel with volume to the downside. We lost the channel and we even lost our golden pocket support. If we turn on that golden pocket here, we lost the golden pocket. Now, after losing the golden pocket, oftentimes, I'm going to show you this with XRP in just a second, you will lose it and you come up and you back test it. And if you can't get back above it, you expect to drop now to the 786. Also, we were forming a sort of bear flag in here. We had our big pole and then we had our channel flag right here. I talked about this a lot last week. And I did say if we lose this channel, this ascending channel right here, this ascending channel, then we are going to drop to the 786 most likely, most probable. So now we can zoom in on the 2-hour chart. And what happened yesterday? What was super, super key is last weekend, remember, weekend lows often get taken out. Last weekend, last Saturday, we made lows on Bitcoin dominance. Well, throughout the entire week, of course, with FOMC coming and knowing rate cuts, dominance was rising all week long, all week long. Come up to the FOMC, we touch that channel, reject from the bearish backtest of the channel. So when you have a ascending channel, you lose it. Oftentimes you'll come up, backtest it before seeing the bigger drop. So what happened yesterday is we came up, we backtested that channel, we rejected, we confirmed a harsh rejection here. Yes, we could see a little bit of a bounce here at the golden pocket to come up to make a lower, to kind of see a start of another 5-wave impulse. So like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down, and then seeing a much bigger drop eventually to 55%. But we are losing the channel, and I expect us to come down to take out weekend lows and really below us at that 786. I expect us to come down to that 786 below us. Past couple of days, retail thinks it's altcoin season right now, and in some respects it could be. We are seeing altcoins push much, much harder than Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin is pumping too, altcoins are pumping harder, means dominance is coming down. People are taking their money out of Bitcoin and putting it into the altcoins. So let's go ahead and now go into, so I'm just looking for Bitcoin to come down to about that 57%. I do think we will see some sort of bounce from the 786, maybe form a bigger sideways range in here for a bit from that 786. We could see, after forming a range, we could see a bigger push back up to even grab these internal highs here. But I really think that we could see a big drop on dominance to that 55.1%, where we do have our weekly channel midline down here. And look at what happened. Boom. So, and that was all the way back in December of 2024. So I am going to be watching for that drop to that channel midline again. All right, let's go into Ethereum real quick, because Ethereum, we did long Ethereum, or at least I did, and I posted about it in the Telegram yesterday. We longed Ethereum. We were waiting for Ethereum to come down to our local golden pocket, and we had our small range value area low. That's this small. We had a small bottoming range in here. Value area low of this small range was in confluence with the golden pocket, which was just above it. If you pull that golden pocket from your last big low to the high, you can see golden pocket, value area low, right in close confluence with each other. So I was waiting. The day before we came down, we actually didn't hit the golden pocket. I said, be patient, wait for the levels to be hit, wait for another drive of bull divs. Well, look at what we had here. Bull divs like crazy. If we go on to the 2-hour chart, very nice bull divs on the 2-hour chart. 3 drives of bull div. Money flow was starting to bottom out, but what I was looking at on NAMI, it was already about to cross over into the green. And so that's where NAMI in confluence with Market Cipher B can be really helpful. Now, we bounced from our golden pocket support. After bouncing, I did post in the Telegram yesterday, where's my resistance? My resistance for a TP1, and I did TP. I only TP'd 35%, but I TP1'd right here at 46.45-ish, because it's the top of the pitchfork, once again, in confluence with our golden pocket and I believe our larger range value area high. So let me go ahead and get rid of this smaller range. We will come in here and turn on our, that guy. Did I delete that? There we go. In confluence with our larger range value area high. You can see this is our month-long range that we've been in. So value area high, golden pocket, top of the pitchfork. That is absolutely a resistance where we could reject. Even seeing a little bit of a flat correction in here. Reject, come down a little bit more, and then continue up to our next level of resistance. But TP'd, stops at break even now. I'm still in that trade, but I am looking for a bit of a drop here on Ethereum. We could take out the lows from earlier today, these lows at 45.55, and see that kind of running flat correction. Because we made a lower high here, we could come down, take out these lows, and then continue the push up. All of this being a wave one, flat correction in a wave 2, and then we could see a wave 3 to here, wave 4, wave 5. But anyways, Ethereum is pumping locally. We are at resistance locally, and we do have some bearish signals on the chart. But overall, look at money flow. Like, since we've come down to this local golden pocket, money flow has been steadily increasing on the asset here. Steadily increasing. We had bull divs into our golden pocket. It was the perfect signal to at least look for a scalp long. Now, if we zoom out to the 4-hour chart, on the 4-hour chart, we are seeing that money flow still kind of drain out of the asset, both on NAMI and Market Cipher B. And we have to be aware that we could be putting in that bigger topping reversal pattern here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, Model 2 distribution, whatever you want to say. And yes, a storm on Saturn, I do think that Ethereum could go below 4K, because what we're going to see here is this could just be a push up to here and still overall creating that Model 2 distribution, because we front run the weekly here. So now we have an SFP into that weekly, and the 786 is just above. So absolutely, we could locally pump up a little bit higher to hit that weekly around 47.80. But I do think that if we hit that weekly and start to reject from that weekly, we could see that bigger. Because remember, overall, in the overall context of things on Ethereum, I am looking for new all-time highs to 6 or 7K. But as far as the Elliott wave analysis goes, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and if our wave 3 is done, we're going to be looking for a zigzag correction down to between the 382 and the 0.5. So those levels are between 38.69 and 35.34, really 34.89. If we come down to around that $3,500 level, I will be looking for the biggest swing long. I don't want to say of my career, but I'll be looking for a big swing long. Let's just say that. But because we could be at the end of our wave 3 of our macro impulse, we were looking for a 3-wave corrective move here to come down. Now, it doesn't mean that that high, this is the high, and we're going to roll over and finish it right now. We could be seeing one more little push up here, kind of creating a flat correction in here, and then the big dump. So I'm still being patient with Ethereum. If we zoom out onto the 8-hour chart on Ethereum, money flow is still rising, and we did print that hidden bull div signal on those lows into the golden pocket. That weekly, creating a 3-wave correction here up to the weekly, and then see the bigger impulse start downwards. And guess what? Hedge yourself. Hedge yourself. If you're, I long this local area here. Now I'm also going to be looking for shorts around this weekly. Even I'll be looking for shorts at the resistance we're at now. I haven't shorted yet, but I did say this in yesterday's video, in yesterday's YouTube video, that I am at least going to take some of my long position that I longed right here out at this local, playing it as a scalp at first. I mean, this is a strong level. Value area high of our month-long range. Golden pocket retracement. If you're going to put in a lower high, it's usually going to be at the golden pocket. And then we have our pitchfork, the top of our pitchfork, which is a very, very key macro resistance. So that is kind of what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Anyways, guys, please hit the like button. Thank you, Mark Dutch. Please hit the like button. If you get any insight into the markets out of this video, please hit the like button for me. Please share the video. Also, real quick, I just want to go over the partners of the channel. The main partner of the channel is going to be BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you sign up using my affiliate link, you'll get a minimum of 20% off discounts on trading fees. You'll get up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much you trade in the futures markets. And then you can get various initial deposit bonus. If you deposit $100, they'll give you a 50% deposit bonus. But if you deposit more, they'll give you various 10 to 20% deposit bonuses. This goes till September 30th. Also, I've partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post some of these trade setups ahead of time, and I post my analysis and my thoughts ahead of time. So if you're interested in joining that community, it's free. All you need to do, though, is sign up with my affiliate link, with BYDFI's affiliate link, and you need to deposit $100. That $100 is still your money to trade, and you'll get the $50 bonus, and then you can get access to the Telegram group. And once you get to get access to the Telegram group, there's a link in the description below. All you need to do is click on that link, and then you type in /verify, and then your user ID, which is this number here. And then you'll have access to that Telegram group. Second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. NAMI is a momentum and money flow indicator that I use for entry and exit confirmations. You know, look at bear divs, look at money flow, look at bull divs, look at money flow. And they're running a 50% off special if you use my affiliate link. Divine50 is the discount code, and both the link for the NAMI Trading website and for the discount code are in the description. And then lastly, I have MEXC and BYDFI. MEXC and BYDFI are great exchanges with low fees. They are also offering discounts on trading fees and various futures bonuses. So if you like to sign up with them, they are in the description as well. And I do think both of those exchanges are good, reputable exchanges with low fees. So, okay. Now we can get back to the TA here. Actually, let me read the chat real quick, and then we'll get back to the TA. We're losing VWAP. Oh, yes, we are losing VWAP. Okay. Now, what I want to see here very locally, if we come up and we backtest the VWAP, then I will look for the short and reject. Sorry, backtest and reject. Ragana, I can make a NAMI video tutorial here on how to use it. It's a momentum and money flow indicator. So yes, it's very, very useful for money flow and for bear divs. And NAMI's code for money flow is actual money flow, and it is quicker than Market Cipher B. So it can give you, especially if you're a scalper, a little bit better and quicker signals for that. So I will do that sometime in the next couple of weeks here. I'll make some videos on NAMI there. Also, I do believe False Prophet, he's usually in this in the chat here. He is the creator of NAMI, and he is very, very versed in using it. So if you see him, you can ask him as well. Is this the Jimmy Kimmel channel? I heard Trump hates it. I'm so interested. I hope Trump doesn't hate it. Well, I mean, you know, he does him. That's all good. But good evening to you, Mark Dutch. Good evening. Why do we have to come up to that weekly? We don't. Storm on Saturn, that weekly on ETH, we do not have to come up to it. It's just when you front run a level so closely like this, now you have a bunch of stops above this high, and it creates a liquidity trap, right? So now everyone thinks it's going to drop straight away. Well, the market makers will say, hey, guess what? We're just going to come up there one more time, stop out all those people that shorted the last few weeks, come up, hit that weekly. Everyone's going to be thinking, oh, the low was in at this golden pocket. We're going to break to new all-time highs. And guess what? You come up here, you take the weekly into a resistance, and then you start the bigger dump. So it's just a trap that market makers like to do. But no, you do not have to come up to that weekly. We could roll over from this area right here and continue pushing back down. Now, at first, right now, I'm playing ETH as scalps, right? Like that's why yesterday when I opened this trade from the golden pocket, I told you I'm going to be taking some profit here, even though it's only a little push higher. But scalp position, if we come down to this weekly, by the way, I will look for a long if we have bull divs coming down to this weekly. Even if I think we're going to go lower, bounce here, lower high, continue dropping, take out 4,200, maybe swing fail, you know. So I will be looking for scalps along the way, but the overall macro price action, we do have a probability of coming down to hit that 382 or even better, that's 0.5. That's only if the third wave is in. So we don't know for sure if the third wave is in here, and we could keep pumping. But overall, I do expect Ethereum to make new all-time highs. As far as our macro Fibonacci analysis, or macro Elliott wave analysis, I do think a fifth wave is going to bring us up to, you know, that $5,500, $6,500 level. But first, I do think that we could see that correction down to the 382, to the 0.5. The 0.5 would be the best position. Like, it would be so nice to see that, because look at this resistance. 4-year long value area high here. That's a 4-year long range. It's the value area high. We had an immediate back test of that value area high after we broke it. Back test of value area, back test of value area high, kept pumping up to make a new all-time high. But after grabbing the liquidity from the all-time high, we have not come back down to back test that macro value area high. And so if we do see a drop down here, it's not only our wave 4 target for the macro Elliott analysis impulse, but we have a weekly level down here. We have a naked daily point of control down here. I mean, this is just, and the bottom of the pitchfork is down here. The bottom of the pitchfork band is down here. And if we reject from the top of the pitchfork, oftentimes you will see a drop to the next major pitchfork level, just like we've seen with Bitcoin. Reject from the band of the upper band of the pitchfork, come down to the midline. Reject from the upper band of the pitchfork, come down to the midline. And then what do we see once we come down to that next major level of pitchfork support? Boom. Boom, you know? So it's just the way pitchforks work between these macro pitchfork levels, these important macro pitchfork levels. Yes, you will see some chop in and around. Let's go to Ethereum. You're seeing some chop around the high of the pitchfork. That's this blue line here. You're seeing some chop around the highs, but this could be a distribution range. Oops, let me go here. This could be a distribution topping range that forms here where we do drop, lose that range to the downside, distribute to the 382 or to the 0.5. So just know that we're at a big resistance here of that pitchfork. And if you want to see a better look at that pitchfork, let's just zoom out here onto the daily chart. Let me turn off some of these levels. And I mean, this pitchfork has just been so nice. Ranges in here, broke above it, broke up to the midline, formed a 3-month long range, 2 to 3 month long range, attempting to hold above the midline. We did see that flash crash to backtest the anchored VWAP, which, by the way, that on Bitcoin is at 105 now. That has not been tested. Bitcoin's anchored VWAP from the 74K lows, at least from Coinbase, has not been tested. I understand that Bybit hit it here. Bybit did hit it. Coinbase has not been tested here. So if we do come down, excuse me, there. Yeah, Bybit hit it here. Coinbase has not been tested yet. So if we do come down to that 105, flash crash down there in a bigger 3-wave corrective move, I'll be looking for longs. But with Ethereum, we had the reclaim after holding this as support, showing that Ethereum wanted to continue bullish momentum. We broke above the midline, broke up to the upper band. We formed a range in the upper band, and what happened here? Remember, we longed this in the Telegram chat. We longed this drop to, we broke above, took the liquidity of our range highs up here. We dropped back down. We took the liquidity of the range lows into the bottom of the pitchfork band, and we longed the bottom of the pitchfork band. I took profit personally when we hit up here on that trade. I closed it completely as soon as we hit the top of the pitchfork. But now that we're at the top of the pitchfork, you do see ranges form. It's not going to be immediate rejection drop or, you know, that was too far of a drop, but rejection drop here. Sometimes you get that, but more often than not, you will form a range. The market is going to take some time to decide whether it's going to end up rejecting. And also the bigger players are distributing here. They're offloading their bags that they bought down here or that they bought down here. So they're going to be, you know, selling into people buying up here, selling into people buying. You get that distribution range, you drop down, whichever one it's going to be. And so I'm looking, and we also have bear divs up here. Head, left shoulder, head, right shoulder possible here. Bear divs on the daily time frame. Money flow consistently draining out of the asset. Anytime you're forming a range, guys, with money flow draining out of the asset and bear divs, it's more likely than not to be a distribution range. I would say it's greater than a 50% chance. And if you want to see a prime example of this, I warned about this back in January. I made a video about this back in January. But if we look at Bitcoin here, in this prior all-time high range here, what were we seeing? We were seeing bear divs on the chart as the range was forming, money flow draining out of the asset. What happened? We ended up distributing down to make new lows. We broke the range down. We back tested that range here, and then we made new lows. So that is absolutely what we could see with Ethereum. It's just maybe this range is not completely done forming on Ethereum yet. Okay, that is it for Ethereum for now. We are at local resistance on Ethereum. Did take some profit on that long scalp trade. Now I'll be waiting. Let me check Bitcoin. Did Bitcoin reject from that? I'm going to set an alert at the VWAP here. And if we come back up and test that, then Okay, let's go into Solana. Let's do Solana real quickly. Solana is finally coming up to our box of resistance that I've been talking about for, it seems like, a month now, between 252 and 256. Remember, we have that weekly level up there. We have a bunch of resistance up here, a weekly level in confluence with the 786. And then, of course, we do have a naked monthly, a naked weekly point of control at 256, 255.9, 256. And then that daily level's up there as well. So finally came up, hit the top of this resistance. Now, yesterday, we did get our small rejection from this local area of resistance, but you can see what happened. And I did post about this in the Telegram. I updated. I said, guys, we're hitting our local resistance, but I do not see any bearish signals. I'm not shorting here. So I kind of warned about that. That was the local resistance we covered in Tuesday's live stream. And you can see, or maybe it was yesterday's video, we had a naked daily point of control. We had the 786 and we had the top of the pitchfork, just like Ethereum's at right now. So Solana was able to break out of this. Ethereum is at it right now. Top of the pitchfork, value area high, golden pocket, local resistance. Solana broke out of that, back tested it, and came up to our macro resistance. Now we're at our macro resistance on Solana. I told you in Tuesday's live stream, the real, there's a 252, which is a weekly and a 786. But to me, what's a little bit more interesting is coming up to like this 256 area where the naked monthly, naked weekly, and the daily is. So, and then of course, I do believe, let's see here. There was no SFP in this area, no liquidity in this area. No liquidity, but, still, we're at that resistance. We're at the big resistance where we could see a bit of a drop here. And the way this has been rising, let me turn off these levels. The way that we've been rising in here has been kind of wedge-like, and we could see that finally now hitting into our macro resistance. We could see that bigger drop down. Just a peak above. Let's get rid of these. A peak above and a peak above the pitchfork into resistance. And then if we fall back inside that pitchfork, I'm going to be expecting a move down. Now, this 382 and 0.5 is not valid anymore because we did make new highs. So, but we did come down and we did hit our 382 locally. So remember, we were looking on Solana just from this low. We were looking at the 5-wave impulse, right? Very clean, clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're looking to come up in a 5. We've came up and hit resistance. So we could be ending this impulse. And remember, we looked at on Tuesday's live stream from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, between that 382 and 0.5, we bounced exactly from the 382 and we made a little inverse head and shoulders, or, reversal pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder here, right into your 382. After seeing that, now that we've seen the bounce from the 382, which was one of the key targets, I personally wanted to come down to the 0.5, but we didn't. And now we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we need one more high here. It looks like to me very, very locally, we have not finished our impulse. A wave 1, a wave 2, 3. If we come down, bounce from this level, what used to be resistance, now considered support, and come up to 256, that could finish our little intraday impulse or little intra-week impulse here. And then from 256, see the bigger drop to the downside. Maybe not that far. Maybe something like that. So that's it for Solana. Yeah, Solana money flow still looks pretty bullish here on Solana, but we do have the bear divs for sure. Bear divs on Solana on the 2-hour chart. Money, and also we could be creating some bear divs on money flow. It's not confirmed yet. 4-hour chart, we do have the bear divs. Money flow is finally starting to kind of drain out of the asset. Bear divs, and what's interesting here is we could have money flow bear divs on Solana, but it's not confirmed yet because this hasn't rolled over. But we are at macro resistance, and I suggest if you are long on Solana, taking some profit, because we did hit into that 252. Okay, Bitcoin is hitting into Bitcoin's hitting into that anchored VWAP, or the VWAP, excuse me. We're starting to see that drop in open interest that we want to see here. A lot of volume kicked in on that low. Let's see. So positions closing out. A lot of long positions were closed out right there. I don't like that, how long positions closing out. I want to see some long positions opening right now, and we're not really seeing long positions open. Because if we're really going to get that bigger dump, we want to see longs opening up into resistance, and we're not seeing that yet. And you can see right now we're reclaiming that VWAP. So remember, guys, I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. Yes, we're at resistance, but I'm being patient and waiting for more of a range to form here, just because of the bullish CVD absorption. You know, maybe we're going to come a little bit higher. So for me right now, it's still not enough. 5-minute chart. Do we have bear divs? We have some slight bear divs. Money flow's kind of curving back up, and we got that green dot. Let's go to the 12-minute chart. 12-minute chart. I mean, yeah, it does look pretty good here. We did very, very locally break market structure bearishly. Like a 5-minute break in market structure. By taking out this low here, we have broken market structure bearishly. So if you think the high is in for the day, if you think we're going to reject, then what you could also do is pull a golden pocket from the high to this low. And if we come up to this golden pocket at 117.7-ish, 117.7, and we reject from that golden pocket, look for the short. Of course, you're going to put your stop right above that high. And then you could be targeting lower positions, lower. So why don't we do this? Since we're kind of breaking above that VWAP right now, because if we do this right now, break above back test, then I think we're coming up to that golden pocket. So let's set an alert here at the golden pocket, and we'll wait for the golden pocket. Part of trading is being patient and waiting for confirmations. Yes, we do have confirmations on Market Cipher being NAMI, but with that bullish CVD absorption, I'm telling you guys, that's the only thing keeping me out of this trade right now. The only thing. Okay, I know we have a lot of coins to cover today, guys. I told Spartacus I'd cover the AVAX trade. So AVAX finally hitting up into that 0.65. Now, remember on Tuesday's live stream, guys, we talked about with AVAX. Let me hide this real quick. We talked about with AVAX the accumulation pattern. We hit into our 1-to-1 Fibonacci perfect with bull divs here. Accumulation here. This was an accumulation range that was a big range, going back to February of 2025. And we're breaking out of that value area high with a nice impulsive candle here, an imbalanced candle to the upside. So I expected us, and remember, we're flipping that daily to support. So we flip the daily to support. You expect to come up to the next major level, right? That next major level was this resistance here at between $34 and $36. Well, we're hitting into that 0.65 right now, and we could reject from here, but money flow looks bullish. And if we look at lower time frames, 4-hour time frame, money flow looks bullish. We are seeing some bear divs on the chart, but the money flow is going to overpower that single drive or double drive of bear divs. What I'm actually looking for, and I talked to Spartacus Crypto in the Telegram about this right before we started the stream, is I actually like this level up here better. The naked monthly point of control at 36.7 and a daily level up there at 36.6. So coming up to around 36.6, we would grab the liquidity of this internal high, and you can see this point of control of our bigger upper range is up here. So that was this upper range here. The point of control is just a bit higher, even though our golden pocket is being hit. I want that point of control and that naked monthly point of control daily, and then there's an internal liquidity grab there as well. And the reason why this internal liquidity grab is important, I know it looks insignificant, but look at what happened here. We had a high on the daily, and then we saw our mega crash. So there is a lot of stops that are above this local high for long-term traders. That is why, even though this is an internal liquidity grab, it is very, very important, because there is long-term swing traders that have put their stops above that high if they were shorting in this general area. So yeah, looking for a little bit higher on AVAX, but AVAX is coming up into some big resistance here. 1-hour chart. Yeah, we are forming slight bear divs here. Money flow doesn't look the worst. Let's go check the 15-minute chart. Money flow's rising on the 15-minute. And yes, we do have regional bear divs from like, what was that, Wednesday from yesterday? We have some bear divs forming. But right now, just like with Bitcoin, I'm not seeing quite enough to short here yet. Now, if we do reject from 36.6 to 36.7, I'm already looking for a short. And actually, let's create this. But right now, I just don't see enough. Money flow is going to overpower that drive of bear divs. Yeah, money flow still looks pretty good here. So let's be patient and wait. Let me check Bitcoin real quick here. What's Bitcoin up to? Okay, just hovering around. Bitcoin's hovering around. But if we close this 5-minute candle in 30 seconds above the VWAP, then I think we're going to come at least test this golden pocket. And overall, we really kind of need to break this low to really see market structure break, like a significant market structure break. Yes, we saw very local market structure break, but once again, remember, we're looking for a range to form in here. And look at what's happening. We're kind of starting to form a range in here. So what you could also do is pull your volume profile and look at this intraday range that's formed. Okay, we're inside the range still, but we are losing that VWAP right now. Let me get rid of this. Yeah, that's going to be your TP is just right in this general area here. 2.26 if we shorted right now. It'd be so much better to reject from this golden pocket. You know, it's up to you guys what you want to do. I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to be patient and wait for this range to develop a little bit more. But I am actively looking for the short, so we'll keep dropping back to Bitcoin in time. Okay, so that's it for Bitcoin. Now let's go into some of the other altcoins. Let me look at the chat here. HBAR, XCN, ARB, IMX, Doge. We'll cover these. Let me go through Monero real quick. XMR. Let's see. Did I do it on KuCoin? Yes. XMR is now. We talked about the long from the 0.5 on XMR the other day, and I think it was Spartacus Crypto in the Telegram told me he caught that. So we did reject from the value area high of the range, guys. Our big upper range here rejected value area high, but we're looking for that bigger double 1-2 impulse. A 1-2, 1-2. Here's your big third wave. Finished your third wave. 4, 5, 4, 5. So I'm looking really to come up to this next resistance level overall. We did bounce from the 0.5 Fibonacci and telling us that this is most likely this impulse is valid, and we are going to see continuation to the upside here. 4, 5, 4, 5 coming up to this area. So for me, yes, we did reject from the value area high, but I do think that XMR has more to go. And that's really all that I would be looking at with XMR here. Let's go on to the 1-hour chart. Yeah, money flow doesn't look too good here. Hidden bear div signals printing followed by a bear div. What you could also do is pull your fib, because if we are going to reject and create a bigger 3-wave move down, remember, in a correction to the downside, you're looking for a 3-wave move down. So we could just come down, take out that low, still not hit the golden pocket. Now, if you want to see if this impulse is going to be invalidated, you guys can do this on your own chart. Go from the lows of wave 3, which is at 254.44. You're going to go from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. And if you hit this golden pocket at 282.97, at least on KuCoin, 282.97, if you hit this, it's going to invalidate the impulse. So as long as we don't hit this, we could still drop a little bit lower here, take that liquidity, and still be in your wave 4. And then now you're going to see the impulses in the 4 5s. Guys, give me just a second. I got to let the dog out real quick. Okay, so that's about it for XMR. I do think XMR is looking pretty bullish here, but we are hitting into a value area high, and that was a pretty harsh rejection. It does suck that we did break market structure bearishly. You can see with this break here, bearish break in market structure. Because we broke market structure bearishly, now you have to pay more attention to a lower high possible. So just be aware of that. But overall, following the Elliott wave analysis, 1 2 1 2, big third wave, 4 5 4 5, coming up to that 358 area. SFP of these highs into the daily. That would be nice to see. Okay. All right, let's go into the super chats here. We'll go to HBAR real quick. I believe it's on Coinbase. Yeah. Okay, HBAR. Let me get rid of this. Rejected your golden pocket here. This range, I could pull all the way. We're at the point of control of the range, but here's the cool thing about what HBAR did. We deviated the value area low, found support, was able to reclaim, kind of rejected from POC in the band, but we're holding value area low now. We back tested value area low. We're holding it. To me, this looks like the start of a 5-wave impulse. A wave 1, wave 2. We're in our wave 3. Now, your wave 3 could be done with at the top of this pitchfork band. We hit the top of the pitchfork band. You can see here. And let's pull our Fibonacci, our trend-based Fibonacci from the lows to the highs here, to the lows here, if I can get them. And then we'll put on that 1.618. Yeah, so we're at the 1.618 level. So that is your rejection area for a wave 3. Your most common rejection area. If this is going to be a small intraday impulse or intra-week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pushing up, taking out at least these highs. You'd want to at least take out those highs in this impulse. You do have some bear divs on the chart here. Money flows draining out of the asset. Let's go on to our 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, bear divs, money flow draining out of the asset. Okay, so if we do come out and take out this high, you might want to look for a short there. But be aware, because if you get above that POC and you close the daily level above this POC, you have a high likelihood of coming up to grab the liquidity into the value area high. Let's do this. Okay, no weeklies until we get up there. Let's go to our dailies. To be honest, guys, this looks really bullish, actually, because this is clearly an impulsive price action. And then we kind of have this channel that's forming here. And this looks corrective. So it looks like if we can break out of the value area high, which you can see is also the POC of our more macro range, if we can break above 27 cents, like 26, 27 cents, I think HBAR is going to start to rocket here. And actually that POC shifted down now. So the POC, we're at the POC of not only our local range on the daily time frame, but also our large range that goes all the way back to December of 2024. This is very interesting. I don't, that it's not the proper pitchfork. We gotta switch that back. Now on the daily time frame, money flow is still in the red, but it looks like it's starting to bottom out here. And then on NAMI, it's still rising rapidly here. So I would say that overall, we do have more upside on HBAR. You just got to be careful because on the 4-hour, bear divs, money flow kind of starting to drain out of the asset. 1 hour, bear divs, now money flow's topped out. It doesn't look the worst, though. It doesn't look the worst here. And if we can get above where we're at right now, which looks like we're really trying to, then we're going to see that continued push up. I locally, just because of the back test of the value area low, we flipped it to support, and now it looks like we're going to impulse up, going very locally into Elliott. 1, 2, 3. We did reject from that 0.6 or 1.618 for 5. I would like to come at least take out these highs at 25.5, let's say. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Money flow is kind of draining out here. Slight bear divs here. And that might give us our wave 4 down to the downside. So let's pull a fib. If we're going to look for a 3-wave correction in a wave 4, we'll go from high to low here, coming up to the golden pocket right now. Haven't hit it yet. Have not hit it yet. But if we come and hit this golden pocket and reject, because of our 15-minute bear divs, you could be looking at this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, wave 3, and then remember, within your wave 4, you're looking for a 3-wave correction down, and then you're going to have your wave 5, which is in itself is going to have 5 subwaves to at least come out, take out these highs. So let's pull a fib now from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. We'll turn on that 0.382 to 0.5. None of them have been hit yet. So I actually would expect maybe a little rejection. This is talking about very local intraday stuff, or like, rejection, and then at least to come down to that 382 before seeing that impulse up. So, you could be looking at 24.48 to about 24.45 or 24.25 as a potential scalp long to take out 25.5. To take out 25.5-ish. Okay, so that is pretty much it for HBAR. Let's go. I don't know if I've done. Okay, XCN is also hitting into its pitchfork band, the top of its pitchfork band. What I do not like here with XCN, look at all these wicks. Sell wicks. Hit into the band wick, 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 hit into the band wick. I mean, a lot of wickage here on XCN on that pitchfork band. Oof. Yeah, and you know what? You could say that we've broken market structure bullishly on the daily time frame because this last daily high, we've broken above it, right? With this, with last Friday, last week, we broke the high, so we broke market structure finally bullishly. We came down, we made a higher low. Now we're technically making a higher high here. So this could be the start of a flip in market structure to bullish market structure on more macro levels. Let's pull our fib from the lows to the highs here. Let's go to our golden pocket. Yeah, golden pocket, we bounced from it. It was probably 786 as well. No, didn't quite hit the 786. So you did bounce from your general area between the golden pocket and the 786, and you now technically have came up to make new highs, but be aware because we SFP'd last weekend's highs. And remember, within these bands, did we SFP it? Yeah, we SFP'd last Friday's highs. And in these bands, you form ranges in here. And usually you don't see a big ass drop like this here, and then just a V-shaped recovery. Usually what happens is you'll form a bit of a range in this band here, and then you'll start to break it up. Now, XCN here is, we could look at a couple things here. We could look at a range of this sideways price action here. We are below the value area low. So if we do come up to, what is that, 14.8, 0.0148 and reject, I expect us to keep pushing down here. And actually, let's do this. Let's pull our bearish pitchfork here because we could continue in a bearish trend. Now we're going to use the skiff pitchfork for this because it's a sideways correction. Yeah, you know, okay, that 14.8 area is around the value area low is around that. So let's turn on that. Did I delete it? Right here is going to be key level. If we get up to about 14.8, 14.7, 14.8, because if we come up here, reject, that means we'd continue in this bearish trend probably. You're rejecting the back test of the value area low, and it's the top of the bearish pitchfork. And if you're going to remain bearish, coming up to that 14.7, 14.8 level, rejecting, you're probably going to continue this bearish trend a little bit. For me, I don't know why anyone would trade this when there's such bad liquidity on this. And I guess, yeah, if it breaks out of this, you're going to see a pump right up to that POC probably. Not right up there, but it's going to be a quick pump up there within like a couple of weeks or so. Yeah, and that's where your next weekly level is as well. So just be aware that if you break 14.7, you're coming up to 18.4, 0.184, because that's your next weekly level in perfect confluence with that POC. Break this. Come up here. And really, yeah, because we did SFP last weekend's highs and we're seeing kind of a bearish reaction from that with that wick, there's a potential that we could come down a little bit further, locally. But overall, with the daily time frame money flows bottoming out here, and on NAMI it's pushing up pretty good, I do think it's a high likelihood that we come up to hit that resistance box. This box here between like 14.4, 14.2 and 14.6-ish. Let's do this. Let's go to the 8-hour. Let's look for our naked weekly points. Okay, actually, yeah. Be aware of this naked monthly point of control. 13.8.7. Okay, let's see here. Let me check the chat. Then we'll go into Arbitrum, IMX, and Doge. You made a huge airdrop trading on chain perps. Analysis to help me pay lots of fees. I'm so happy for that, dude. Well, Humble Eddie, thank you for letting me know that. That's awesome. Samuel S., what's up, man? IMX. Yep, we're gonna go into IMX here. What color is your t-shirt today? It's rainbow colored. Okay, orange. Okay, let's now, we'll go into IMX USD. It's been a while since I've checked IMX, but it's pumping. It is pumping. Wow. Okay, guys, like this looks so nice to me because look at on the daily time frame, we have this bottoming accumulation range here. Very, very clear accumulation range. Now we're starting to break that range to the upside. Also, if you look at the bigger 3-wave corrective move down, I mean, actually, you could see this as a 5-wave move too. Let's look at that real quick. Let me zoom out. Yeah, I mean, you bounce from your 0.236, which is a common area, 236, 236. So this could have been the end of the correction. It does look like an accumulation range in here. Bull divs on the chart, money flow rising on the chart on the 3-day time frame, just crossing into the green. I mean, this looks really nice to me, actually. It looks like we could get a significant push up on IMX, but let's pull. You don't want to buy it right now. It's pumped like crazy already. Or at least wait for some sort of pullback. So that's your accumulation range right there. Your accumulation range. Now what it looks like to me is we're in an impulse here. We're starting an impulse, a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to be in our big third wave, and then you're going to look for a 4, 5, 4, 5 here to push up. So let's pull a golden pocket from the highs to the lows. And because this is more than a 30% drop, I believe, yeah, 80% drop, we're going to take this and we're going to put that on fib scale, log scale. So I would be looking at this golden pocket, and sure enough, look at where this golden pocket at 109 to 116, your golden pocket's coming in. But what else is there? It's your support resistance flip. Look at this, just your general support, resistance in here, resistance, support here. I mean, that is going to be your key area right there at 1099 to 116. We can also look at our larger range. We're above the POC of the larger range, so we have a high probability of coming up here. Now, the question is, this wave 3 could not be done yet. Let's pull our fib, our trend-based fib from the lows to the highs to the lows here. Did we hit the 1.618? No, actually, you could go all the way up here in your third wave. So I would say IMX is going to be pushing here. Let's go on to our daily time frame here. Yeah, and your next daily level, see, you're above the liquidity. You didn't SFP the range highs. Your little accumulation range. We're breaking out of the accumulation here. Breaking out of accumulation, did not SFP the highs. You want to close this daily candle above 81.56. That's what you need to do. You could look at these internal highs here. That's also, we could see a small rejection from here, or a small. If we do come back down to test the value area high, oh, that shifts it significantly. So yeah, this is perfect, guys. If we do see a rejection, an SFP of these internal highs, and we come back down to about 69, 70 cents, I mean, I would be looking for longs from here. And then let's look at, so here's another thing. We got our next big daily level that is going to be coming in. We're at our resistance area. This is our next big resistance area here. Okay, we're going to have to look at the monthlies. Yeah, we really don't have anything. If we do not reject where we're at right now, we don't have anything to keep us from coming up to 109 to 116. I think we have a high probability of coming up here. The question is, are we just going to see a little bit of a pullback first and then come up here? So if we see that pullback and come down to that 80-cent area, 70-cent area, I would personally be looking for long positions to bring up to 116, because this looks bullish to me. Let's zoom in on this now and see where we're at here. I want to check. Man, yeah, guys, to me, this looks one big deviation up here. This was a big deviation of a few months up here, but this is our range, and we bounce from the value area low. We bounce from our ABC correction target, and now we're breaking above your macro POC, your smaller accumulation range POC, and you're even breaking out of the accumulation range value area high. To me, this looks really bullish, and it looks like IMX is going to continue at least up to this purple box of resistance, and that's at the very least. Like, we could start to really push this thing up because this was a three-wave correction here. Now we could really start to impulse up out of here. But you're going to not look for a straight up move. You're going to look for double 1-2 impulse in here, probably finishing right here. We're going to reject. You might even come all the way back down to back test that accumulation range after that. Then you're going to see another big impulse on this if it's going to remain hyper bullish. So to me, IMX is looking good, but I would not be longing it now. Look at, we're at our internal highs, and this is your accumulation range here. This is the range. Now, we've broken out of the value area high of the range, but and you could even consider this the high of the range, but these internal highs in here right before this big breakdown are important, and that's why we're finding a little bit of resistance where we're at right now. I just personally would not be longing, even if I think it's going to come up here eventually. I would wait for a pullback, but overall, this looks really good, and if we do pull back here, it looks too small to be your wave 3 here. This looks too small. This does have a high likelihood of continuing up here even for your wave 3, then 4-5-4-5 coming up, hitting 7-8-6 maybe, or some other levels above us. Let's look at our monthlies. Yeah, let's mark that monthly out. The one thing about this PVP indicator is it doesn't go back too far. So that's the one drawback on that. And then, yes, a weekly has not been tapped. I mean, this is starting to look like a little nice box of resistance too. 786, the weekly, and the 1.618 for that impulse right there. So overall, I would say that IMX looks really good. Look at this weekly bull div here. Lower lows, higher lows, money flow coming up here. Gosh dang, this thing is, if this pulls back to 70 cents, I'm going to be spot buying some, and I'm going to be longing the crap out of this. I wish I would have caught this earlier. Right now, guys, it's very bad risk management to long right now. Even if we think it's going to go up here in the next couple of months, I would not be longing right now. If you're super hyper bullish on this, just wait till it gets to VWAP, long VWAP. I would not do that. Let me be very clear. I would not do that. But I mean, this looks pretty good here. Yeah, money flow looks good. You are potentially forming some bear divs here. Bear divs confirmed pretty much. Money flow looks pretty good though. Money flow looks good, so I'm not going to short off of. I'm not shorting this because it's possible that this wave 3 just continues. But you're at kind of a big resistance area, so I would just be patient, wait for a pullback. If you really, really want to be like hyper bullish on this thing, if you come back to your previous highs, so let me zoom out to 12-hour. These highs right here, if you come back to these highs, which could be considered your range highs, right? You could consider these the range highs, or you can consider this the range high. For me, I like to include this little bit of chop in here as part of your accumulation range because you had your big dump and then accumulation range started. So for me, those 88.5 is the range highs, but this could be considered a range high as well. So if you come back down to 81.56 and you start to bounce from 81.56, then you're pretty much confirming what used to be a top, a local top, is now being flipped to support. That's actually where your VWAP is. So then you could long that. But IMX looks great, guys. Quiles, I think it was Quiles who asked about that. Yeah. Okay, let's go into, let me check chat here. What's up, False Prophet? Good to see you, man. Did you give your thoughts on the market already? Yes, I did. I do think Bitcoin's at key resistance, and altcoins I think are going to continue pumping pretty much. Ooh, okay, yeah. I'm waiting. I'm being patient on Bitcoin right now. I'm being very patient on Bitcoin. I want a little bit of a range to form in here, coming up to that golden pocket. If we get a rejection from this golden pocket, I might look for a short here. Down to about 116. But we'll look at, I'm going to get to as many of these as I can today, guys. Let's go to Arbitrum. I'm going to go to try to go a little bit quicker here on some of this analysis. Arbitrum, we've got our range that's here. Bounce from the 786, it looks like. Yep, 786, perfect bounce from the 786. Here you had your big push up, come down to 786, bounce. We've reclaimed the POC. Actually, look at this, very nice. Reclaim the POC, back test the POC, and it looks like we want to come up to value area high. It does look like we want to come up there. And you're breaking out of your accumulation range. Okay, this is very key. Just like IMX, guys, Arbitrum has been in an accumulation range here for a while. We've broken out of that accumulation range. Look at this, just macro. Resistance, resistance, came down to your channel midline, bounced from your channel midline. We're breaking and we're forming a range above our value, our macro accumulation range. This is accumulation here. So now the key thing is, though, this accumulation, this smaller range that we just diagnosed, this range here, it does look like it could be a topping reversal range. And oftentimes you will attempt to break out of accumulation. If you form a range right above that value area high and it's a topping reversal range, you could see a drop back inside. So be aware that, let me get rid of this here. Let me get rid of this. Actually, I won't get rid of that because that's still fresh. But what we could see here, you have your small range. This is your big accumulation range. Look at what we're seeing on the charts here. Higher highs, 3 higher highs, lower highs here. Money flow is now draining out of the asset. Because of that, this could be a head, a left shoulder head, and then we could have a right shoulder around this weekly. Let's pull our golden pocket real quick. From the highs to the lows of this last big daily drop, let's turn on our golden pocket. Yeah, it's right around that weekly. I don't like how it doesn't align with that weekly. Okay, Bitcoin. We got to go check Bitcoin real quick. Gosh, you guys, I'm not shorting yet. I'm not shorting yet here. It's just not enough for me. I know we have bear divs here. Okay. No, that's not new long stepping in. See how this open interest is dropping here. People are shorting and they're starting to get squeezed out of their shorts. We haven't quite hit the golden pocket yet. No bear divs on the 1 minute. Money flow looks pretty healthy here, coming back up into the green. And because we're front running right now the golden pocket, man, yeah, we're front running the golden pocket here. I mean, we do have nice bear divs. We do have some nice bear divs here. The thing is that money flow just looks like it wants to turn around, and the bullish CVD absorption that we're seeing. If this starts to drop a little bit more, then I might look for it. And actually, you know what you want to look for between this retracement, because we broke the market structure bearishly here locally, very, very locally, we broke market structure bearishly. You will look between the golden pocket and the 786. So the 786 is actually better because our POC is there. Hit the golden pocket right now. Yeah, money flow's trying to curve up again here. No bear divs even on the 1 minute chart here. Locally, we want to see bear divs coming up into this. And so you're going to have to go real low time frame, 1 minute, 5 minute. You want to see bear divs here. We're not seeing bear divs here. Money flow looks bullish still. 5 minute. Okay, 5 minute. No bear divs even on the 5 minute here. So I think that it's going to continue at least up to this 786 POC range. Could be wrong. Could be wrong on that. If you're looking for shorts, guys, we do have some confirmations to short. 4 hour and under has bear divs overall. Very, very locally, we do not have bear divs coming up into this golden pocket, which I kind of would want to see. It's a tough one. Let's Nairus. I've never heard of Nairus, Ludong. And Ludong, welcome in, man. Dang, you bought IMX at the top. Whew. How do you play bear divs? Okay, how do you play bear divs? If you're seeing, let me zoom out here onto the hourly chart. First of all, you want to be looking for bear divs around at your resistance boxes that you've already. And actually, we're lower highs just barely here, lower highs in the momentum waves. But you want to see your money flow overall kind of coming out of the asset here into major resistance. And if you're seeing those bear divs playing out on multiple time frames, really into macro resistance, you want to see like intermediate bear divs, like 4 hour and under. So 4 hour, we do see those bear divs here. And money flow locally, at least from yesterday, money flow is kind of draining out of the asset. Now, I would say this doesn't look the most unhealthy. We would want to see a better drop in money flow, but there is those confirmed bear divs there, even from this high, confirmed bear divs. And money flow overall is starting to top off here. So I like to see bear divs actually hitting into your resistance, not before, actually hitting into your resistance. Money flow at least look like it's topping out here. And if you see that, you wait until at the beginning of the stream, the only reason I haven't shorted this golden pocket yet is because of the bullish CVD absorption that we're seeing on the charts. Higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the CVD. Open interest is increasing. This is textbook bullish CVD absorption, and I am not about to short against local bullish CVD absorption. I will wait till it gets a little bit higher, and then if we're starting or form a range, wait till it gets a little bit higher, continues to form local bear divs, or a range starts in here, and then I start to see that money flow and local bear divs. So we have our regional bear divs here. So we have confirmation to at least start looking for a short because we have 4-hour, 2-hour bear divs. Now, in order to really get nice confirmation, now you're going to zoom in onto the lower time frames. Here's the 15-minute chart. Do we have bear divs between the highs from today? Yes, we do. Do we have money flow draining out of the asset? Well, it was, but now it's starting to come back up here. We did get a green dot here. So I would say if we confirmed more drives of bear div, if the bullish CVD absorption wasn't there, I would have already shorted. But because it's there, I'm waiting. And now we're really getting into the nitty gritty. Because we broke market structure very, very locally, bearishly, we could look for a lower high, too short to break this range down. This is the range that we're looking at here, this upper intraday range. But because this upper intraday range, we're inside the value area low, we've just now back tested that value area low, and we're bouncing. We have a high likelihood to come to the POC. Well, that's where the 786 is. And if we're going to put in a lower high, it's going to be between this golden pocket and this 786 because the bearish market structure breaks. So now we're just waiting. We're just being patient and waiting. This general area to short. But right now I can't short because money flow is bullish. I'm not going to short bullish money flow. Is it? Oh, my mic is screwing up. I'm sorry, guys. I am swallowing the mic. Let me turn it down. Just check. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. When I turn off that streaming software, the other software, it's a bit louder, so sometimes my mic will peak. I've got one of those XLR microphones. Thank you, though, Mark, for letting me know about that. Okay, guys, I set an alert near the 786. Man, I let's just stay here for a couple more minutes on Bitcoin, and then we'll go back into some of those altcoins. I haven't forgot about Equiles. I haven't forgot about Doge and Arbitrum. We didn't quite finish Arbitrum, and I still wanted to go through XRP as well. XRP, and then I wanted to go through, what was it, Chainlink? No, Near protocol. Near is breaking out, but wait, there was a different Near USDT. Near is breaking out. We're hitting into our daily right now, but I do think that Near could come up to 340 SFP of these highs into your pitchfork band. I longed this 0.5 tap, but I took 90% of the profits out at 310 because I thought we were going to SFP 310. So I'm almost all the way out of that long position, but that was still a good long from 0.5 up to 310. And part of the reason why I was looking at 310 is if you take a fib and you look at this wave 4 retrace, you turn on your 1.618 Fibonacci, your fifth wave target. 310 was right around that 1.618. So I thought we were going to SFP that high into your 1.618 and finish this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then see a little bit of a correction down. But we're not. We're continuing. The 1.618 is a target. It doesn't have to be. Actually, the crazier thing is we could be in the start of a much, much bigger impulse here. Once again, this is your accumulation range here. And the highs of that accumulation range are 338. So even if we SFP 338, I'm going to be looking for that and then that. Near's looking bullish AF. We're at the daily, so maybe take some profit here. Money flow looks so good, though. Breaking out of the value area high of your accumulation range. If we close the daily level, the daily candle above 301, near could really start to run here. Really start to run. Because the big thing with this is this could be all a wave 1, this could be a wave 2, and we could be about to wave 3 this sucker all the way up. Okay, Bitcoin. I mean, this golden pocket is giving us a bit of resistance here. We're not really dropping, though, is the problem. We're not dropping here. Do we have 1 minute divs now? No real 1 minute divs. So here's another thought, because you can reject from the golden pocket or the 786, and you, with your POC right, your small intraday range POC right above that 786, you could short right now, just looking to come down to the market structure break to confirm a bigger break, and you still have a 4.39 risk to reward ratio, but you're going to put your stop above this POC, this intraday range POC. I might attempt a little bit of a short here. Let's see. Open interest is still dropping. That's good. Ooh, yeah. Look at these bear divs on the 15-second. Money flow draining out of the asset. I mean, damn it. Give me a second, guys. Now, it's up to you guys whether you want to attempt to short from here. If you want to play it safe, I wouldn't be shorting yet. I'd be waiting. You could attempt it because we did break the market structure bearishly here, and we have come up to our golden pocket, and we are rejecting the golden pocket. So you might even just come down to this range low here. But if you're shorting here, actually now, shoot, you could even short. Now stop above that golden pocket and just be targeting these lows as a very small scalp. I don't know if I like that. Get rid of this. And the reason why is because we could keep ranging for a bit, so you might bounce from now this golden pocket right here at the value area low. So let's look at that. Is that a good enough risk reward? It's only a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, so I wouldn't short that. Because remember, we're waiting for a little bit bigger of a range to form here, guys. We're waiting for a little bit of a range, maybe even coming up to that 0.65. So for me, even as a scalp, like, because we could do this and then bounce and then continue to range within this range for a bit. And remember, we're looking for a bigger potential swing short position from here. So I'm going to be patient and wait. If you think that we're about to dump from here, yeah, attempt this short. Maybe at least take some profit if we start to bounce from the value area low golden pocket. And then if we come down and break market structure, you can be more confident in that short position really starting to play out to deeper and deeper levels. VWAPs here, value area lows here, golden pockets here. Yeah, TRXRX, I agree, man. Let's be patient. Okay, let's go back to Arbitrum real quick. So on Arbitrum, we have this accumulation range here. No, not, wait. Was I on Arbitrum right before we stopped? Yeah, we have this, not accumulation, but this is a daily range, a topping range near the after the breakout of our accumulation range. This is the accumulation range. So we broke out of the accumulation range. We're forming a potential topping reversal pattern here in this sky here. So if we fall back underneath, really, I'd say this daily, underneath like 48 cents, then we could see a much bigger drop here on Arbitrum. But I think that at least even locally, Arbitrum could come up and take out these highs into this golden pocket. That would actually give you nice 4-hour bear divs if you start to get bear divs into that golden pocket. So Arbitrum locally, we reclaimed POC, we bounced from POC, high likelihood to come up to at least value area high of this range, but even to golden pocket and weekly. And then if you have bear divs there, you could look to short that. And if I was shorting that golden pocket, I'd be shorting it down to the daily value area low. We're right below a pretty big resistance up here. Top of the channel. It's our logarithmic channel, our big descending channel that goes back. Let's see here. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, big descending channel here. We bounced from the bottom of the channel pretty much perfectly. And we've created bullish market structure. So if we reject from the top of the channel and fall back inside this accumulation range, you're going to see a bigger drop. But if we break, we've already broken the accumulation range. If we break above this this purple box of resistance here between 70 cents and like 66, 64, then we're going to come at least come up to 95 to $1. At the very least, probably higher than that though. But I'd be looking for some sort of pullback from here. So we kind of got into the weeds on low time frames with Arbitrum. You know, and looking at this golden pocket and this weekly and even this value area high. But I mean, it is bullish market structure. I don't like this. I don't like this. Higher highs, lower highs, draining out. Money flow draining out. That to me is a little bit, but here's the thing. This is the daily time frame. You could do this and push up and create one more drive of bear div into this and then see the big rejection. So I would be waiting here. 4 drives of bear div with, if money flow keeps draining out and is crossing into the red as we're hitting into here, I'll absolutely be looking for a short position. Actually, I am going to set an alert on that. It's already there. Okay, so now that we are starting to reject, we still have very, very local bullish market structure here, right? If we come up to this 786 now and we confirm 1 minute bear divs, I will look for a short just because we're at macro resistance. And if I get stopped out, I'll look to re-enter again if we come up to the 0.65. So let's stay on for a bit here and see if we can't get that little bit of a rejection. Okay, what was the next one? Dogecoin. Yeah, but I don't think this is the right chart. Here we go. Okay, we are hitting into resistance here on Dogecoin. Log golden pocket, and it's your pitchfork band. Oops. We broke above that weekly, and we're really trying to flip it to support. So let's get rid of that because that was last week. Weekly money flow looks pretty bullish on Dogecoin here. We're above this small range value area high, but let's pull this back. Yeah, you're above the value area high. You did reject from your box of resistance, and you got a nice little short from that. Reject, pitchfork band, come down to value area high. Now, because it looks like we're bouncing from this value area high, does look like we'll come up to the top of the pitchfork band. Between, what is that, 35.9 and 35, like 35 to 36 cents, let's say. Daily bear divs, though, and money flows draining out of the asset. Dang. A little bit of mixed signals here because we're hitting into our resistance box that we've had laid out with bear divs and money flow draining out of the asset. So actually what we could see, because we actually haven't back tested that value area high quite yet, this value area high, you could see this, a bigger 3-wave corrective move to actually back test it. And then you push up to this area. So if you do come down to about 25.3, let's just say 25.3, you could be looking for some sort of long there. Let's pull the fib from the rejection highs down to those lows. Yeah, we're rejecting from golden pocket. So honestly, guys, it does look like we could see a 3-wave move to actually take out our little lows down here into that 25.2. Now, for me, I'm not going to be shorting this golden pocket here, but if we do come down to 25.2, I'll be looking for longs. Let's pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction here. Ah, dang. Yeah, it's kind of a bit lower, your target for that ABC correction. But you could just see a flat, like our take out those lows, grab the liquidity. So that's what I'd be looking for. Just because we're at a major resistance. And then you still have bullish market structure, though. That's not good. So you see how this could look like a 3-wave corrective move? Well, your target is between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. You rejected that 1.236. If this is just a 3-wave corrective move, then you expect this to actually be impulsive down. That's your bearish scenario. And because we have money flow draining out on the daily time frame, that is, you do have to give some bias or some probability to that. I'm Grotto, my gut is not feeling to short. The technical analysis on Bitcoin, we have confirmations to short at this macro resistance. As far as bear divs go, but we have too many mixed signals. I'm being patient because we have mixed signals. So 4 hour, we do have bear divs here. But if we look back on that 8 hour chart, money flow looks really, really bullish right now here on a market cipher B. But the main thing that's keeping me out of the short right now is we're seeing bullish CVD absorption here. And bullish CVD absorption is such a powerful indicator here. If you see bullish CVD absorption, you at least are going to want to make one more high in here locally. So, I mean, we're in our box. We're just hitting the beginning of the box. And we still have the 0.65 a bit higher. So for me, my gut's telling me to wait, to form a range here and get some bear divs with the range, or to see another high being made. And then I want to see this open interest continue to drop here. If I see another high being made with this open interest continuing to drop, you bet I'll be shorting. But it does look like we are dropping here. Okay, we're coming down to that golden pocket. Sudeep, thank you so much for joining. Much love to you, and have a good weekend. I'll be streaming tomorrow, but if I don't see you, have a good weekend. XRP looks pretty good to me. I think XRP is going to continue up to it's in this small descending channel right now. I just marked this out earlier today. Small little descending channel, and actually this needs to get put here. So small little descending channel, but we are at that golden pocket. Yesterday we came up to this golden pocket and we found some resistance. We were able to break above it. So if we can flip it right now to support, then I think we're going to come up to 321, like I said described in yesterday's video, that 321 to 323 area. So I do, this looks corrective to me. All day long, we've been seeing this slow corrective descending channel. And if we start to lose the golden pocket again, that's not going to be a good sign. We did bounce from our 382 and from our back test of the value area high locally. So you can see here, we broke out of this range, back tested the value area high in the 382. So of course you expect to at least make new highs. We did make new highs. And I was just looking at this as like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could be done with that. And now if we lose this golden pocket, then we're probably going to drop back down to the larger golden pocket, pulled from the low of the impulse to the high of the impulse, down to about 303. And I don't like how it's losing it right now because Bitcoin's starting to drop. The altcoins are going to start dropping. But the big thing with this XRP is this does look all day long like slow corrective bleed down. Okay, Bitcoin's hitting. And we might just back test 306 again, that value area high, to continue higher. Now 301 looks good too, or really 302. It's where your POC and you have a naked daily POC is there. Ooh, yeah. Well, I told you guys I personally wasn't taking the short from here, but we did describe it as an option because we broke market structure bearishly here. So kind of gave the setup. I personally wasn't broke market structure bearishly. You could look for a lower high at the golden pocket, and you're going to continue at least down to break this to hit 117, 116.6, 116.9, excuse me. but I'm not confident yet. I think I really do think more of a range is going to form here, guys. So what does that mean? We could bounce from value area low golden pocket right now and then come back up to hit that 786 and POC. So this is how small intraday ranges go. And you could, if you're a very low time frame scalper, you could even, long here to take profit up here. So you wait for the bounce. You don't long right now. You get in. I'd probably get in once we reclaim VWAP. Your stop is going to go below that low, and then I would be targeting the one risk reward scalp trade. It could be a better trade than trying to short. Here. It could be a better trade than trying to short that and take it down to your golden pocket. Well, no, that's a 16 low. What did I just do here? Yeah, see, so we're bouncing from this golden pocket. Yes, please hit the like button, everybody. This is me showing you how to go through scalps as well, but also when you're at a macro resistance to be patient and wait, but at the same time, you can still play scalps. Like we talked about this rejection from here. We also talked about this before, a bounce from here. Now, yeah, if we reclaim VWAP, I'm going to be looking to come up to that 786. You could even scalp that if you wanted to. Scalp along that. Come up here. You just made, it's a 5.6 risk to reward ratio there. Close 50% of it here. Hold 50% of it for here. But Grotto Easy, that was a great question. Why am I so hesitant on the short position? And I've been saying this the entire stream, but the only reason is because of this bullish CVD absorption here. It's just bullish CVD absorption plays out so much of the time that yes, we are at the macro resistance with bear divs, but I want this. And now this bullish CVD absorption, if we make one more high, and this keeps dropping, you are still going to see it building and building and building, which means we could break up to like 119.3 or 120. But for me, with that bullish CVD absorption, I just can't do it, man. I just can't do it right now. But I understand if you pulled the trigger up here or if you pulled the trigger here, I'd hold it. Why not? Be willing to get stopped out. Oh, okay. The other thing I wanted to show you guys here was BNB. BNB has been quietly hyper bullish here, and we even broke above. Let me zoom out onto the 4-hour chart. I shorted $1,005 exactly on BNB, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But BNB has been hyper bullish here, and we bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork. We multiple times held the bottom, rejected from the lower band, came down to the bottom again, bounced, reclaimed that what used to be resistance here, resistance, flipped it to support. Remember the other week, I was talking about if we come up to the midline and we reject, we could see a big drop. Well, we rejected, but we formed a triangle in here, and now we're breaking out above the midline, and we're coming up to our 1.618 Fibonacci target. For me, on higher time frames, this 1.618 here was pulled from this high to this low because I'm looking at a much larger structure impulse here. 1, 2, 3, coming up to your 1.618. Or let's see, what was I looking at? I was looking at this. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your 5 comes up between the 1.236 and the 1.618. So this could be the end of a multi-year impulse that goes back to January of 2018. And for me, it was worth it to short there just because I think we're going to get some sort of reaction there. And so in order to get that target, you go from the highs of your fourth wave to the lows of your fourth wave. And you turn on your wave 5 targets, which are between the 1.236, not ABC, and the 1.618. And see, we're hitting into that 1.618 perfectly hitting into the 1.618. And we do have bear divs on the chart. Money flow's been draining out of the asset. So I did short this. And what I'm looking for is just, I'll take some profit if we come to that midline, about 940-ish, 935 to 940. But BNB is hyper bullish, and I do think that BNB, if it can flip this midline to support, you know, we're looking at a $1,100 to $1,200 BNB here. Let me show you guys that. Oh, I guess I shorted 104K, not 105K. Not 1,004, not 1,005. And I'm being very cautious with this trade, with it being so bullish. I'm being very cautious. I've already put my stop right at the highs. I'll stop out at break even no matter what. I just shared that short in the Telegram. Exactly from 1,004. Wow. Okay. Bitcoin is just being a biatch here. Rejected, but now we're bouncing from this golden pocket value area low. Guys, it's highly likely that we're not just gonna hit up into here in one day and reject. I mean, this is a macro resistance here. So you're going to want to see a bit of a range form in here. Like that's what people are waiting that don't have market cipher, that don't use indicators. They're going to wait for a range. They're going to wait for market structure breaks. So we're just going to wait for a little bit of a range in here. And then if we start to lose that, like if you lose this low here at 117, let's say, or 116.9, then what you can do is pull your range high to wherever that low is. Let's just say it's going to be right underneath it. And then you're going to put on that golden pocket. Now, if you come up to this golden pocket, it's a guaranteed short for me because we broke larger market structure bearishly. So you come down, break market structure, short, and then you expect the bearish trend to continue. That's just market structure. And remember, market structure is king here. I mean, shoot, you could even put it there. I bet you a couple people are already short. Jason's probably short from the 618. He told us this morning in the live stream that he was going to short the golden pocket no matter what. So he's probably short from the very top. Don't know about Frankie. Don't know about Coons or Andy, but You know, for me, I'm just gonna wait here because of this bullish CVD absorption. If we lose this value area low, there is a high likelihood that we come take out these lows. Because look at what we've been seeing throughout the day. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Well, I guess I wouldn't count that part, but higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Oh, first break in bearish market structure here throughout from Wednesday. That's our first break in bearish market structure since yesterday. Now we could look for the lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and that's how this works here. Let's see. I want to check out Filecoin. Yeah, Filecoin is at like lows. Now, see, I don't really know the use case for Filecoin. I know that it was a Chinese asset. Let's see here. Wait, where is this? But you're at like the freaking all-time lows here. And this is definitely an accumulation range forming on the weekly time frame. Weekly bull divs here. Money flow coming up. Wow, this does look interesting. Thank you, Mark Dutch. Oh my gosh. Um, damn. Oh wait, first let's. Dude, this looks very interesting. Did we tap that? Yeah. Weekly accumulation right here at the all-time lows. Pretty much at the all-time lows here. Now, what I would be playing is this range right here. This is an accumulation range. So you're going to pull from right after that last impulse dump ended. This is your accumulation range. You're breaking the point of control of that range. You can see you held the value area low 1, 2, 3 times here. And now that we're holding the value area low and breaking the POC, if we close, well, we've already closed dailies above it. Actually, we even low time frame back tested it yesterday, and we're continuing higher. So I would say that it's got a very high likelihood of at least coming up to the value area high of the range. But let's pull our Fibonacci from the highs of this accumulation range to the lows of this accumulation range. Let's turn on our golden pocket. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I think Filecoin, at the very least, if you're still going to remain in this accumulation for a bit longer, right now, at the very least, SFP into golden pocket into value area high, like this right here, Filecoin has a high likelihood to just continue up to here over the next week or 2 weeks. But it could remain in this accumulation for another month or so, another 2 months. But at the very least, this looks like a very interesting spot buy. Now, if you caught it down here, gosh, you're really in a good shape. Really good shape. But that looks nice. And then, of course, look at this weekly right into your range highs, your accumulation range highs here, weekly SFP there. I mean, that is the next level that I would be looking for a potential pullback. If you're just going to grab the liquidity, let's say you do that, then you break above, grab the liquidity and come back and start to keep ranging within this accumulation range for a bit. That would be the next level I'd be looking to take some profit at. But yeah, I mean, this looks great. Dang, I'm going to buy some of this on spot. 3-hour bear divs, money flow draining out of the asset. 4-hour bear divs, money flow draining out of the asset. Okay, so we do have some local and intermediate bear divs here. The thing is, we back tested the POC yesterday and we're bouncing right now. So we could continue to form multiple drives of bear divs until we get up here. But if we're forming multiple drives of bear divs as we're getting up there, I would absolutely look to short this here, even though we have weekly bull divs. And I would wait for a bigger pullback and then spot long the crap out of this, spot buy the crap out of this thing. 1 hour, no real bear divs on the 1 hour yet. But I don't like this, except for this one momentum wave made on Tuesday. We were forming kind of a lot of bear divs with money flow draining out of the asset. No, this thing looks great. Money flow on the 12-hour looks bullish. I think I'm just going to buy some of this right now. Now, remember, if you're buying now, you're buying with the expectation of breaking this accumulation range. You're going to have to be patient. It could be another 2 months. It could be another 3 months. It could be another half a year. But this is at a bottoming range with weekly bull divs, multiple drives of weekly bull divs at all-time lows. You're pretty much at all-time lows with weekly bull divs and your accumulation here. Now, to be safe, if you really wanted to be safe on a spot buy on, here, let me zoom out to the 3-day chart. If you really want to be safe on a spot buy on Filecoin, you wait until this accumulation breaks and you wait for a back test. That would be the smartest thing. A proper investor would wait for something like this. Break of the range, back test to that value area high of that accumulation range, and you buy here. And then you wait for the expansion to occur. But we're still underneath that. So, like, if you buy now, here's the thing. You could buy even lower right now. If you come up here and reject, then take some profit out. Take 50% of it out and then wait. If you drop back down to that POC, you can re-add it again. But this looks so freaking good here. Man, I think I have to just do some shopping. Mark Dutch, thank you, dude. I have not been paying attention to Filecoin. Shoot, can you find this? Okay. Let's check Bitcoin again here. No, I wasn't muted. I was shopping. I wasn't muted. Sorry, guys. Just nibbling a little bit. Yeah, I just think this range is going to continue a little bit more, guys. Rejected this golden pocket, bounced from this golden pocket value area low. We're starting to mature in a range at resistance. So we want to see those continued intermediate bear divs, intermediate bear divs continuing, but with the bullish CVD absorption that we're seeing, and now look at money flows kind of bottoming out here or like trying to roll back up again. I'm not comfortable shorting this yet. Not quite comfortable. Yeah, Valentine's Day's in February. Oh, well, yeah. that Filecoin, man, that's, maybe it's dead. It's a dead project and it's going to remain at these lows forever. But still, like the risk reward on that thing, dude, like that is so nice to see. Now look at how low the liquidity is on that, like these wicks here. But you are, this is the log chart too, guys. In like the weekly here, you're pretty much at all-time lows. And even if we shoot up to the monthly up here at $7, like you're it's nuts. Cause like we could pull this range here, this bigger range. You're looking at that. Now we are at the value area low, the bearish back test of the value area low of our larger range that goes back to June of 2022. So we could see the rejection here. Maybe I should have done that before I bought. You could reject here because we do have the bear divs on low time frames and come back to this POC at 250, 249. But for me, I'm comfortable buying because I don't care if we come back down here. Like I'm looking, say we bought here. And I'm comfortable. What the heck is going on with this thing? I have no idea why this thing is so messed up. Anyways, the risk to reward ratio is really good. I would say stop below that low. Even targeting. Well, that's only a 1.7. That sucks. But you would be targeting a real expansion here. I'd be targeting the POC of the range. That's a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio on spot. If you bought right now, you would get stopped out if you lost the lows. But you'd want to come up in expansion. You're going to want to come up to, let's do this. Because we're looking at this bigger range, right? So that's the highs of this bigger range. That's the highs of this bigger range here. So we'd go pull a golden pocket. From the highs to the lows. Now, we have to put that on log scale because that's more than a 30% drop to the downside. But you would be looking, yeah, and sure enough, look at, you'd be coming up to value area high of the range. So that's exactly where I'd take profit. Value area high, golden pocket of the large range. Because if we start to break this accumulation, you're going to see expansion all the way up to there. Now you could fail that expansion. It would be a proper expansion of this accumulation up to this area. You could go like this and then distribute back down. But for me, buying now and coming up to 650, 5-to-1 risk, 6-to-1 risk reward ratio there. Shoot, even if you're now, I don't know if I'd swing trade that because that might take months and months to play out and your fees would kill you. But spot, this is great. This is great. Yeah, and this daily fair value gap in here, a weekly fair value gap in here. Jesus. Oh, is that why the magnet is off? How do I? Feel is being used. It's pretty important. Okay, cool. Storage is not a narrative, but I'm just talking technical analysis. As long as it's a viable project, look at where you're at here. Weekly bear divs, money flow coming up, multiple drives of weekly bear divs, by the way. The only thing that is concerning is we're bearishly backtesting the larger range value, the multi-year range value area low. So if you do reject here, you could come down a little bit further because it could be something like this. A, B, C coming down here, but overall making a higher low and then creating higher highs. Just more of the accumulation. It could be this accumulation looks like it could continue a little bit more. But for me, Filecoin, damn. I mean, anybody that bought this swing failure pattern down here. Now that I think about it, I think Andy was mentioning this a couple months ago. Whew. Okay, guys, let's check Bitcoin real quick, and then I got to get going. I'm super sorry. I know we're waiting for the trade. We're waiting for this range to form. You guys know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a range to form. If we do come up to the 786, let me just turn this only to 786 now. 786 around 117.8 to like 117.9. This little area here, because we broke market structure bearishly, there is a potential short from here, but I just be aware because overall market structure is still kind of bullish here, and we have bullish CVD absorptions here happening on the charts. If this continues dropping a little bit more, I will short that 786. I will short 117,834-ish. And then of course, if I short that, so if you short this, stop is going to go above your local high. And for me, I would be targeting at least the lows of this range, this small range, this small intraday range that we're forming here. I'd just be targeting as a TP1, not as a final TP, as a TP1. My final TP would be like much, much lower, maybe even 105K. But yeah, so look at that's still a 4.8 risk to reward ratio on that. I'm comfortable taking that because we have some bear divs. If we do come up there, look at even right now, continuing. So be aware of that 117.8. But if we break above that and we break, this general local resistance within a bigger resistance, right? This is your local resistance within a bigger resistance. Let's make that like an orange color. Local resistance within a bigger resistance. But because of the bullish absorption, we might come up to 118.5 or like 118K. We're at the short opportunity, and we are going into the weekend. Tomorrow, we still have tomorrow, of course. I'm going to stream tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please join me. We'll cover more potential scalps on some of the altcoins, and we will cover Bitcoin. We'll cover everything again like we did today. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, mods, for modding. I appreciate you always.